The city was cold and unforgiving, just like Jack's life. He walked the streets, a shadow of his former glory. He was once a champion, now he was just another face in the crowd. Memories of cheering fans and bright lights haunted him. His past victories felt like a distant dream. Jack spent his days lost in despair. Alcohol and regret were his only companions. He had lost everything: his title, his family, his self-respect. The world had forgotten him, or so he thought. One day Jack stumbled upon a small rundown gym. He peeked through the dusty window. Inside, an old man was hitting a punching bag. The man moved with a quiet strength. It reminded Jack of his own forgotten power. He entered the gym, hesitant and unsure. The old man stopped his workout. He looked at Jack with kind eyes. His name was Gus. He had seen Jack fight in his glory days. He saw the potential that still flickered within him. Gus offered Jack a chance to train, to fight again, to redeem himself. Jack was unsure. He had been beaten down by life, but something in Gus's eyes, a spark of belief, ignited a flicker of hope in Jack's heart. Training was brutal. Gus pushed Jack to his limits. Each day was a battle against his body and his demons. The pain was a constant reminder of his past mistakes, but Jack pushed through. He clung to the hope that Gus had given him. He started to see changes, not just physically, but mentally too. The discipline of training brought structure to his life. He started to eat healthy, sleep well, and avoid the temptations that had led him astray. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Jack's body began to transform. The flab gave way to muscle. The dull eyes regained their focus. He was becoming a fighter again. The road to redemption was not easy. Jack had moments of doubt, of anger, of despair, but Gus was always there. He was more than just a trainer. He was a mentor, a friend, a father figure that Jack never had. Gus taught Jack that true strength came from within. It came from facing your fears, conquering your demons, and never giving up on yourself. Jack started to believe in himself again. He started to see the world differently. He realized that his fall from grace was not the end. It was an opportunity to rise again, stronger and wiser. News of Jack's comeback spread through the city. People remembered the name, the former champion, the fallen hero. A local promoter saw an opportunity. He offered Jack a fight, a chance to prove himself again. The fight was set for a small venue downtown. It wasn't the grand arenas of Jack's past, but it was a start. Jack trained harder than ever. He knew this was his shot at redemption. He wouldn't let it slip away. The day of the fight arrived. Jack felt a mix of nerves and excitement. He stepped out of his dressing room. The roar of the crowd, smaller but no less electrifying, hit him. They were here to see him, the fallen champion ready to rise again. The bell rang and the fight began. Jack's opponent was younger, faster, hungrier. He had something to prove. But Jack had something that his opponent didn't. He had experience, heart, and a burning desire to redeem himself. The first few rounds were a blur of jabs, hooks, and body blows. Jack could feel the old instincts returning, the rhythm, the footwork, the calculated aggression. He was a boxer again. Jack took punches, but he gave back as good as he got. He fought with a ferocity that surprised even himself. He was fighting for his life, for his dignity, for his redemption. The fight went the distance. Each round was a battle of wills. Jack was tired, his body aching, his vision blurry. But he refused to give up. He had come too far to let it slip away. In the final round, Jack dug deep. He found a reserve of strength he didn't know he had. He unleashed a flurry of punches, each one carrying the weight of his pain, his regret, his will to win. The final bell rang. Both fighters stood battered and bruised. The crowd erupted, chanting Jack's name. He had done it. He had gone the distance. He had proven that even in the darkest of times, hope can prevail. The judge's decision was unanimous. Jack had won. He raised his arms in victory, tears streaming down his face. It wasn't just a win in the ring, it was a victory over his inner demons, a testament to his resilience. Gus hugged him tightly, pride shining in his eyes. Jack had found his redemption. He had faced his past and emerged stronger. He had learned that it's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. The crowd's cheers washed over him. This time they weren't just cheering for a boxer, they were cheering for a man who had found his way back from the brink. a man who had shown them the true meaning of courage and redemption. Jack's life was forever changed. He was no longer the fallen champion, lost in the shadows. He was a symbol of hope, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the human heart. He had found his purpose, his passion, his life. He continued to train at Gus's gym, not for himself, but for others. He wanted to help people, to show them that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. He wanted to be a beacon of light, guiding others towards their own redemption. The city lights didn't seem as cold and unforgiving anymore. They now held a glimmer of hope, a promise of a new beginning. Jack had found his redemption, and in doing so, he had inspired countless others to find theirs.